you folks have a tote bag out to be able to look at while we are going through this that may be helpful. If you have a tote bag to take a look at while we are going through this presentation. And I may just give you guys a few seconds to grab that while we are going through it. And while I do just a few housekeeping things, we will be posting this webinar on our website as we do with all of our webinars. One of the things we're looking at doing is, as we do have a virtual tote bag on our website, we are also looking at putting this webinar with our virtual tote bag as well, so that as people want to review those materials, they may also want to listen to this webinar, or if any of our IBIRN sites want to listen, they can do that as well. We will email out a certificate of attendance following the webinar, along with a survey when we are done. So again, thank you for joining us. Okay, so just a review here. Part of being part of our network, again, the Iowa Brain Injury Resource Network, is to get emails from us, to get our newsletter, public awareness alerts, which you, especially during legislation time, when decisions are being made and possibilities of vetoes and whatnot, you may get quite a bit of. We definitely appreciate any participation in those. You have access to knowing when our presentations are going to be, webinars such as this one, any online training that we have available, you do as well at our website. We are also available to you for technical assistance or case consultation. Any of our staff or our resource facilitators, you can give a call to ask questions for cases that you are working on or clients that you're working with that you may have questions and wanting to give them some support or get them some information if they're not quite ready to have a referral, or for them to call us themselves. And then also, if they are ready to call us and do a referral and you're wanting to give them some support in that referral process, you certainly can support them in that. Also, as you well know, you are able to get tote bags from us to provide to families experiencing brain injury, and we do encourage you to give those out to those families, not just handing them over and walking away, but encouraging them to review the materials. Part of today is to take a look at those materials individually with brief descriptions of each, so you have an idea of what's in the tote bag, so that if you have a family that you have something specific to review, you may be able to take a moment and pull that item out and take a look at it with a family member, the survivor of brain injury, or their caregiver, their spouse, and give them a chance to review it, as well as help them make contact with providers, or again with us if needed, to review that information or obtain additional information if needed. In addition, we depend on you guys to be an information and support system for survivors that are and their family members that are experiencing brain injury. We ask that you promote the local support groups that are out there, the BISN program, connecting peer mentors together for support, and the professional services that we're able to offer through Neuro resource facilitation. So we'll go ahead and get into reviewing our tote bag. Just a few things regarding the bags themselves. Of course, over the years, for those of you that have been giving those bags out, You've seen lots of changes in the bags themselves. We're constantly looking for information, new information to be put in those bags. Right now we're even looking at some additional information to come in. We're reviewing leaflets that can go in there, videos that could potentially go in there. So we certainly appreciate any feedback that clients and patients have, as well as yourselves. And so part of that is to understand that the bag should go to anyone that indicates that they have a brain injury, and any family members indicating that they would like to have one. And please, if you have the time to sit down and review that information with them, we certainly appreciate that. Or if you don't, and it seems like they may need some assistance reviewing that information, please encourage them to give us a call. We can connect them with a facilitator to review that information with them. We do want you to note that there are bags that are specific to adults and pediatric children with brain injury. So please just note that when you're giving those out. We do also encourage, when you're getting low on those supplies, to let us know so we can get you some more. We are wanting to make sure that you have what you need on site to give those out. At the same time, we want to make sure that you have what's current, so we ask that you don't ask for a lot so there you have a huge stockpile, because again, we're constantly updating those and getting new information in there. So next here we have one of the things that you have in your tote is our NRF Flyer. You'll see this typically on a bright yellow sheet of paper. I would say that for anybody that you are encouraging to connect with us that needs more information, connecting with a facilitator for more support, to connect with potential services in their home or in their community, this is an excellent flyer to pull out and maybe write a note on, circle our phone number, so that people know that they can get in touch with us. Of course, it's self-promoting for us or for me to go ahead and bring this up and encourage you guys to give them this flyer and point it out. But we just want to make sure that they see this and know that they can give us a call. There have been numerous times and numerous occasions that our facilitators will talk with somebody and it's been a little while after they've received a tote and they haven't touched it, haven't gone through it, or we've heard the stories of they've gotten more than one bag before and still haven't gone through it. So that's why we really encourage, if you have the opportunity to pull pieces of information out of the tote to review with them, that would be fabulous. This is a booklet that we have in our tote that is helpful for families to go through. It's a guide for families and friends that really gives a brain injury 101 for families and caregivers. It's going to give some information on treatment and the brain injury specific information so that they can have an idea of what's happening and what's to come. That right now is, if you take a look at it, is the bright green booklet that you'll see. You also have the HDI guide. It's a brain injury guide for families. This was a book that was developed for family and patient education so that they could be educated on patient and family behaviors, and maybe something to help those that you're working with or other professionals to gain a clearer picture of what's coming or what's happening. Also to learn that it's what's happening is something that they're not alone in. We also have the Neuropsychological assessment overview. This one is kind of a gray paper handout. The neuropsychological assessment, this is something that many people will look to set up and is something that can be helpful in identifying what function of the brain is disrupted, to what extent, what it means for the person's day-to-day life, how they can be supported and helped. We often, as facilitators, will get calls on getting connected with neuropsychologists, help getting assistance with setting up those appointments and getting referrals to those appointments. And this is a handout that is helpful to those folks to understand what those assessments mean and how it can be a working assessment for them following the appointment. On a blue sheet or a blue handout, you'll have the information about the brain injury waiver. One of the things when I and some of the other facilitators are talking with folks about the waiver, and that I encourage other social workers and other professionals working with people to know and understand about the waiver, is there are lots of ins and outs about the Medicaid system. Sometimes the rules change. There are different layers of the application process. And so when you're involved with describing the brain injury waiver to people, some key things to help people understand is that there are some requirements to qualifying for these services, for being in the home or the community and community services. There are some financial requirements. There are also what they call level of care requirements. And there's lots of misnomers out there in regards to, I think the most common that I know that I hear is that spouses have to get divorced or that they're going to lose their home that they're living in. There's just a lot of different things that are floating out there in regards to how to qualify for brain injury waiver. So I really encourage, if you are sharing this information, if you have people that you really find are interested and may qualify, to encourage them to speak, whether it be with our office, with DHS, with aging and disability resource centers in their community. There may be a variety of people that they can communicate with, but we are happy to go through qualifications or go through the program. One of the things that we also like to communicate with people and help people understand is that there is a waiting list for the brain injury waiver. Sometimes that is something that I find that people are disappointed to hear, that after they get out of the hospital or after they get out of rehabilitation services in skilled nursing or those kinds of settings, they have perceived that they would be able to apply for this service and get it right away. Right now we're looking at it at approximately 2-year waiting list. So just to be aware of that as well. Another set of papers that you may find in your tote bag, and this is a fairly recent ad, and it involves a map as well as a just white sheet of paper that describes the Iowa navigation system for the health insurance, and it goes along with the Iowa Health and Wellness Plan and helping people sign up for their health insurance. So I just encourage you, meetings that I've been involved in have indicated that not everybody has completed the phase of signing up for their insurance. So don't assume that who you're working with has completed that process, and there is information out there and available for working with Iowa Navigator to complete that process if they need assistance. This booklet is a solutions booklet that we have in our totes that is for assistive technology. It's got some great ideas and references for assistive technology that includes memory, attention, task completion, things for confusion, companionship, things like safety and security, and also ways to seek out assistive technology. And a couple of ways to do that. We do have a postcard in our totes that includes the Iowa Compass postcard. And you'll see on that postcard the contact information for there. And you as professionals can certainly contact Iowa Compass and ask questions. They've got a website that you can navigate to look up resources for people. And this can be to look up contacts and information about service providers in the community. They also have an equipment site. The equipment site is something that clients and patients would have to utilize on their own, but if they do need assistance setting that up, that is something that they can call in and get assistance with from Iowa Compass. They have also some legal assistance that you can access through Iowa Compass. They have some support connecting to that. We also have a brochure in your tote bag for the Disability Resource Center with the Center of Disability and Development. And a veterans flyer. Currently, we have some connections with the VA system. More and more connections are being made, and we really encourage you to refer folks not only to the VA, but also to the Brain Injury Alliance or other services in their community. You also have a brochure for Disability Rights Iowa. Disability Rights Iowa provides legal-based services for people with disabilities in specific areas. They have a system where they have approvals to, they have focus areas that include things like accessibility, community integration, employment, guardianship, which can include decision makers, voting, education, and then they have an area specifically for abuse and neglect. But they overall look to uphold and protect the civil rights of people with disabilities. So they are a great advocacy organization with legal support. And then we have our vocational rehab brochure, and you'll have, depending on which tote you're looking at, whether you're looking at your adult tote or your pediatric tote, this is the adult brochure. And what that looks like, it's kind of a bluish green. And of course, vocational rehab will provide some support with job placement, counseling, job exploration. And Voc Rehab is just one of the employment supports out there. It is one that we have a brochure out there for. But again, if you have somebody that wants additional employment service supports or ideas, that's something that they can give us a call for, and we can provide them with some information in that area as well. Moving into some pediatric specific tote materials, on a bright pink handout, we do have frequently asked questions for pediatrics. The pediatric development concerns do change with brain injury, and this frequently asked questions handout can give some fantastic starting points for conversations with parents to communicate with health providers and caregivers, as well as teachers. We also have the Child Health Specialty Clinics brochure. This is a organization that provides some support for children up to the age of 21 who have chronic conditions that include physical, developmental, behavioral, and emotional needs for special services. And they have a few different services that you can read about. They have services that for people that may benefit from family support, care coordination, and also clinic services. And they also work to build partnerships with people in the community and their providers. So you may want to take a look especially if you're a pediatric provider, you may want to take a look and see if that is something that an organization that you are a partner with or could partner with. This is another new item or newer item that we have in our totes. We have a BI quick guide for teachers. We have a couple of guides for teachers and school staff to review. Our educational materials are available for teachers. We certainly encourage family members to share any of our materials with schools. We encourage them to read through the materials and share them with school staff, their aides, and so forth. And then, of course, involving area agencies, ask resources as needed. The Understanding Pediatric Brain Injury, a guide for parents and teachers, is another booklet that we have in there for you. We have a pink sheet that includes all the AEA brain injury resource teams. These are brain injury resource contact folks that have been identified in each of the AEAs that you would be able to have contact with or encourage family members to have contact with if needed. Ask Resource Center, they offer a broad range of supports, individualized, where they will connect parents and their children to information, training, advocacy services, and also provide some support and referrals regarding legal issues, particularly around special education or healthcare for children and their parents. And here we come up on the pediatric specific vocational rehabilitation. This is for students that are working towards continuing education, continuing working, and also seeking employment. We also have just a very small slip of paper that you'll find just some links to Mayo Clinic. They are a great partner on the web that you can find information online for extra supports and resources. And that gives some wonderful information on there. Then we also have our BISN brochure. We continue to work to increase the awareness of our BISN program. So if you know people that you're working with that may benefit from becoming a mentor or a mentee, please share this information. We do have a training for people that are involved in this program and want to become a peer mentor. Lisa Jennison is our coordinator here at the Brain Injury Alliance for that program. She's available for questions about the program, and she works hard to match folks up in that program. And she has provided the training in person, and she's also done the training through a webinar as well. And when those matches are made, she continues communication with folks, and those are set up. The partnerships are set up to be one-year commitments and are set up to be phone-based. So if you have people that ask questions about that program, those are just a few details about it, but they can certainly give us a call or give us an email to ask any questions, and we can connect them with Lisa. We had sent out several brochures, the BISN brochures, that had a slip of paper with a promotion for a family ambassador program that we had. This was through a grant program that we had for 1 year. And at this point, we do not have that program active. So we do ask for those of you that have totes on hand that you do remove the portion of that brochure that indicates any information about the Family Ambassador Program. We will refer anybody that happens to get that information to our BISN program as appropriate. And of course, we do have our BIA Iowa brochure in the tote bag. As a reminder, we want to provide people with information about the services that we have available. And for anybody that wants to become a member officially of the Brain Injury Alliance, survivors and family members are never denied membership. And of course, their stories and advocacy efforts are the reason that we all do what we do. So if you hear that people have concerns about there not being enough resources out there, this is an excellent first step for people to get involved professionally or as a survivor or family member. We do, of course, our legislative actions and advocacy efforts all year long, so they can certainly get involved in that process. And of course, professionals can as well get on our mailing list, and you can certainly let us know or complete a membership. Of course, we have our feedback slip. We do welcome feedback as much as possible. We want to continue to grow our services and grow our skills in providing services to survivors and their family members, and of course the professionals that we're providing case consultation to. So any feedback that can be provided either by giving us a call or sending us an email, whichever is easiest, we certainly do want feedback. The other thing that we do provide to folks when they request any information from our offices or when we send out totes from our offices as well, we have a lot of different materials that we can send out. So if you need information or if you know a client has specific information, we can get our hands on specialized materials to send specific clients information. And so we just put a variety of thought bubbles here to give some ideas on some topics. So kind of anything that you can think of, part of what our facilitators like to do and be available for is to research and seek out information on topics that clients need. And then of course, as you need tote bags, we just need to know, and an email can simply be sent to the info@biaia.org email address, and we just need you to identify whether it's an adult or pediatric tote that you need, and the number of totes that you need. We do ask, again, for the purposes of not stockpiling them, for the updated information, that you keep the number under 20. The name of who you want them to be addressed to, the address and the phone number for any additional questions, or the email address for any additional questions should they come up before we're able to send them out. The other thing that we just wanted to touch on today is, of course, our service of neuro resource facilitation. And when you're sending referrals and or talking to people about neuro resource facilitation and what they can expect from us, when you encourage people to give us a call, know that they will get a call back from a facilitator. They will have an intake completed where lots of information will be asked, just basic demographic information, because each process and each intake is personalized. We want to know what their needs are and what their situation is. And from there, the facilitator works to connect them to services and resources, answer questions based on what their need is at that time. We meet them where they are. And then from there, depending on that situation, typically what will then happen is if the client is agreeable, is we'll check in with them on a quarterly basis just to see how they are. They know, the client knows that they can give us a call, email us for additional information or assistance, and we work to connect them to people in their community, services in their community, work with their family to see if there are ways that their family members can support them. Sometimes different conversations like that occur as well. Something else that we do a lot of different research on a variety of systems that are out there, and we do, sometimes we may not know the answer when we take the call, and we have to do research and get back to people. We work to have our facilitators have different specialties to look up information. We work with our colleagues to gather information and get back to people. We work with folks to do some advocacy and help people advocate for themselves. We'll do conference calling to help people through phone calls. We are also on multiple commissions and committees throughout the state, so we can help keep brain injury on the forefront of decision making and legislative actions that are out there as well. Other functions that we have at the Brain Injury Alliance, case consultation is something that we, of course, are available to for you as professionals, especially with the IBIRN sites. You guys can give us a call anytime, and if you have a case that you're not sure about or a system navigation issue that you're not sure about, information that you're seeking, we are happy to answer any questions or help do some research to answer a question, to connect you to what you need to serve folks with brain injury. We want to connect you to webinars and training, and if you have feedback on what you're looking for ideas for types of webinars and training, we certainly want to hear that from you. We do have our annual conferences. We have our annual conference in Des Moines every spring. We have conferences we're planning our second annual Northeast Iowa conference. We are in the process of planning day-long family conferences in a variety of areas for families. Of course, I've mentioned a couple of times the legislative and advocacy action alerts that you can get through email, and Advocacy Day on the Hill that we plan. And at this point, of course, I'd like to offer, if you have questions, you can certainly give our office a call. You can email any facilitators that you know of personally, or of course our info@biaia.org email address. If you have any questions specifically at this time, you certainly can go to your control panel and type them in there as well. Oh, sorry, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. So again, if anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat box or certainly email us at any time. We certainly are happy to provide you with any support, get you more tote bags. Of course, we appreciate all of your guys' support, getting tote bags out there and providing support with that.
It looks like there was a question, June, about the, can you hear me, June?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Looks like there was a question about the Mayo Clinic booklet, Understanding Brain Injury, A Guide for Employers, which is, just to let you know, Carol, that's a booklet that we did used to use we can't access that specific guide for employers anymore in mass shipments for our use. So I think we have an alternate employer guide that we're putting into bags. So if you have a need for employer specific stuff, certainly email us and let us know. We can send you what you need and research what you might need. And then it looks like the other one you have a question about is the brain injury resources for the World Wide Web. And I'm wondering, June, is that the one that you put together that is the assistive technology stuff? Because that specific one's not ringing a bell to me. So maybe, Carol, if you want to give us a call, maybe we can help troubleshoot which one that is and see if we can still get information to you on that one.
Absolutely. Yep, and she answered will do, so there we go. Thank you, Brandy. And for those of you that know Brandy Jensen, she's also online and available to answer questions as well.
Yep, definitely. I don't see any other questions on here. So like June said, if you have any additional questions, just feel free to email us or give us a call.
All right. Looks like we have a couple thank yous and a comment from Tom, BI Resources for World Wide Web is your link page. It used to be a handout in the bag on our website. Okay, and one of the things that we are in the process of doing, actually, as that gets brought up, is we are in the process of reviewing our website to make sure that things are current. So that's a good point as well. So thank you. And with that, again, thank you very much for joining us. Please, again, we are here to take your calls and emails. So if you have questions, we'd love to hear from you. And if you do need new bags or if any of the newer materials you don't have, please let us know. We want to get those to you so that you have the current information to get out to folks. And hopefully you all have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.